Stop that!
What?
Yeah. There was a long silence. Thomas the Tank Engine was
Really?
I spend my time pulling coaches about ready for you to take out on journeys. The other engines laughed. Why can't I pull passenger trains too? You're Thomas the Tank Engine with rubbish, said Thomas. I'll show you. One night, Thomas ran to find the coaches.
Get on with it.
He fussed. There's plenty of time, they grumbled. Thomas took them to the platform and wanted to run round in front at once. But he
Keeper of toast.
wouldn't let him. The people walked up and down. The guard and station master got in. The porter was eating toast and marmalade. And still Henry didn't come. Thomas got more and more. The controller, in fact, came to see what was the matter. And the guard and the station master and Thomas and Douglas and Henry and
Keeper of toast.
told him about Henry. Find another engine, he ordered. There's only Thomas, they said. You'll have to do it then, Thomas. Be quick now.
Yes! Yes!
So Thomas ran round to the front and back down on the coaches ready to start. Don't be impatient, said his driver.
Or else you will die.
But Thomas was too excited to listen. What happened then? Perhaps they forgot to couple Thomas to the train. Or perhaps the driver forgot to couple Thomas to the train. Anyhow, Thomas started. Henry says it's easy to pull trains, but I think it's hard. He puffed, pretending to be like Gordon. People have seen me pulling a train before. Then he came to a signal at danger. Bother, he thought. I must stop, and I was going so nicely too. Signals.
Just die!
He blew an angry peep peep on his whistle. The signalman ran up. Hello, Thomas, he said. What are you doing here? I'm pulling a train, said Thomas. You see? Where are your coaches then? Thomas looked back. Why, bless me, he said.
It's over 9,000!
Let's go back quickly and try again. At the station, all the passengers were talking at once. They were telling the fat controller what a bad railway it was. But when Thomas came back, they saw how sad he was and couldn't be cross. He was coupled to the train, and this time he
Really?
pulled it. But for a long time afterwards, the other engines laughed at Thomas and said, look, there's Thomas, who wanted to pull the coaches but forgot about the trains. It was
Over 9,000!
on the island of Sodor. All the engines were working hard. Thomas and Toby were. Everyone was happy. Only the coaches, Annie and Clarabelle, were complaining. It's always the same before Christmas, they groaned. We feel so full. We feel so full.
Shut up!
Said Thomas. Where's your festive spirit? It's
Keeper of toast.
whistled Thomas. Peep, peep, happy Peepmas. Christmas just wouldn't be Christmas without Christmas. When work was over, Thomas went to see the other engines. All their coats had been polished. Never mind that, replied Thomas. I've something important to say. Do you realize it's a whole year? The engines were all engines when silence fell. The fat controller had bad news. Thomas, help rescue.
Keeper of toast.
I'll try, sir. We must rescue.
Keeper of toast.
We must. There's a good engine. You and Toby and Douglas will manage splendidly. Thomas charged the snowdrifts fiercely. Sometimes he swept them aside, sometimes they swept aside. Generally, the snow slipped away easily, but sometimes they found deeper drifts. Presently, they came to a drift which was larger than most. Look at that, exclaimed Thomas's fireman. They charged it, and were just backing for another try when...
Help! Help!
Lush sakes, Donald! It's...
Keeper of toast.
Dinna fess yourself. Wait a while. We'll have you out. Then they heard a familiar sound. That's Terence, said Thomas. He's come to help too. At long last, the rescue was complete. The engines made good time. No more snow had fallen, but the yard was dark. Thomas's heart sank. Suddenly, all the lights went on. What a marvelous sight awaited me.
Keeper of toast.
Three...
Keeper of toast.
He called. Peep, peep, peep. They all whistled.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thomas the tank engine and his friends thought it was the best Christmas ever. And
Keeper of toast.
he was eating toast and marmalade.